Alright, so now I'm going to showcase some assassination techniques, and this is why working with your team could be so good on Doomfist, right? I'm duo with Wrong from your Overwatch, and he's playing Narissa, so I'm talking to him saying, alright man, can you pull? If he lands a pull on the squishy, you can E in, shoot, uppercut, shoot, punch out, use all your cooldowns, be in and out before they can even kill you, and it's a perfect assassination technique. Then you just wait for your cooldowns to come back again. So I'm going to show you how it's done properly. I've talked to my Narissa, and watch what happens. Patient, wait, and then we go. There's a pull, E, shoot, uppercut, out. Done. Yo, what's going on today, guys? It's Samito. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm finally doing the long-awaited Doomfist guide that I've been talking about doing. I've obviously been grinding Doomfist and grinding ladder, even hit rank 1 on him recently. And I want to give you guys kind of the tips that I've learned as a newer Doom player getting into the hero this season that allow me to climb to the top of the ladder in the DPS queue, and things that'll help you climb on the character. Before I get into the guide, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support recently. Coming out of the Contenders League, which is the league below Overwatch, and coming back into full-time content creation for the off-season has been definitely a grind, and the support you all have showed has been awesome. And I also stream on this YouTube channel Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST, so I'd really appreciate you guys to drop by and say hello, see a lot of this Doomfist gameplay live, and drop a sub. I really want to hit that 100K by the end of the year. It's going to be close. Hopefully I can do it, but it's a big milestone for me, so if you guys can drop a sub to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So the first thing that's really important about Doomfist is cooldown management, right? You always want to have one of your abilities ready to go to get out. If you go in with all 3 of your abilities, you are literally just going to be hard feeding. The only time you ever want to do that is with your ult. So say I want to come in here, kill this guy, get the kill, ult, wait a second or two so I have another one of these cooldowns back, and then land, and then I have them back. So think about your cooldowns as kind of like a switch that you have to hit. If you have a couple of them ready, you're ready to go in, you're pushing in, but when you don't have them ready, you're using them to pull back and reset for them to come back. So Doom is kind of like it's kind of like the tides. When it's high tide and you have all your cooldowns, you're ready to go in. But when it's low tide and you don't have the power to actually, take the space, you need to be backing out and playing conservatively. That's the biggest misconception with Doomfist, is that you always need to be playing in their backline really aggressive, but the truth is, you don't really need to do that. You need to get aggressive when you have the resources to. That's what makes Doom so strong. You have to be smart with them if you want to get value. Alright, so for the rest of this guide, I'm going to be going over this really good Doom game that I had playing my buddy Frito from your Overwatch, kind of explaining what it is I want to do and why I want to do it. Washplane is a really good Doomfist map, especially on defense, because on defense, you have time to get set up for your, rollouts or getting on the high ground and stuff like that. Getting high ground and being in the right space before the fight is one of the most important things you can do on Doomfist, because that means you'll be able to get so much value from your E without having to commit your punch or your uppercut in order to actually get the max damage on your E. Very, very important, and you will see why here in a second. My first job here is going to be get to the high ground on Watchpoint. Watchpoint is a map that's very good for snipers and has a lot of high ground that you can control, so I kind of want to scout the area. I want to see what's around me. I want my teammates to force their cooldowns first, okay? Let your teammates force the enemy cooldowns. It'll give you a huge advantage. I'm scouting around. I hear the Hanzo on my right here in a second, and I see the Mei directly across from me, all right? So ideally, I'd want to go for the Hanzo on the right, but I don't have the information that the Baptiste is also here. So I see the Hanzo, he puts an arrow in me, I know that I can't contest him, I'm already half health, so I need to make a play that's on these people to get back to my team. So I charge my punch, and as I'm dropping, I one-hit the Baptiste, come down here, use my E in the Mei, and that's 2 quick kills. Doom's punch, I think, is his strongest ability, in his entire kit. So if you can drop from a high ground, that's what I want you all to practice, right? Dropping from a high ground as you charge your punch and getting a one-shot on a Baptiste or any other squishy like this. You can do it on all kinds of maps with high ground, and that's why positioning on Doomfist is so crucial to winning fights, because you can literally get free kills and one-shots on people, just like that, in the nick of a fight, and you can turn the tide in the fight. That's what makes Doom so strong, his one-shot potential. So set yourself up to succeed without committing any of your other cooldowns. I had my uppercut and my E to get out of that fight, back to my team, if I got in trouble, if I missed that punch, for example. So, alright, next clip. After this fight, I know that their Hanzo and I think their Lucio are still behind, and I know that they're going to have to try to get out this way. So I see the Hanzo up here. I'm going to climb up on this box, uppercut, and E onto him. In this circumstance, where you're just chasing kills and you're near your team and they don't have that much pressure, it's perfectly okay to use all 3 of your cooldowns to get the kill, right? Because in order to even get to this Hanzo, I'd use my uppercut to get up to this height, my E to get on the high ground and pull him in, and then my punch to finish him off, right? Since the fight's already over and I have my whole team right down here, it's totally fine to do that, and and you should do that to chase kills. Since we got these kills and these staggers on these two players, they've lost the entire first point just right off the bat, right? So using those cooldowns to deny space and chase kills is one of Doomfist's best attributes. He's one of the most mobile heroes in the game. Be ready to use his mobility, and at the end of every fight, the second that fight ends, the first thing that should come into your mind is, how can I take positioning for the next fight? So not only am I getting the kills on these two, but I'm also taking the high ground positioning that I need to have the advantage going into the next fight. One mistake I actually made here is I chased a kill on the hog in the back as we were capping, and I could have gone on the high ground, but I decided not to. I went low ground with my team. So if you decide to go low ground with your team, here's another combo that you can use on Doomfist with your cooldowns. You can rocket jump out of your punch, which most of you guys know how to do, but basically all you do is if you jump out of the velocity of your punch, it sends you farther. So you want to jump out of that into an uppercut, so then you can use your E to get out if you don't get the kills. But since my team's already pushed up, I was able to stay in the fight, as you can see. So I went for the punch on the McCree. I tried to get in with that. I've got enough shields to stay in the fight and be up with my team. It's a riskier play, but you can get away with it if your team's there because you're still brawling. I punch out the Hanzo. I'm sitting here waiting patiently. Up now, this is a very important moment in decision making, okay? You have Sigma on the right and the McCree and the Baptiste on the left, okay? The reason why you don't want to go for the McCree and the Baptiste is because the McCree has a stun that can kill you, but Sigma has nothing on his kit that actually can like stop you other than his rock, and he still probably won't be able to kill you because your team can kill you out, right? So going for the Sigma is the better play. You'll find yourselves in these situations on Doomfist where you're in the air deciding where to E and where to go in on. Go on the target that's the more isolated and the freer kill. Always be looking for isolated targets on Doomfist. If their team can't peel them, your hero has so much 1v1 potential and strength in his kit that if you go for that kill, you'll find getting it to be more consistent, right? And you'll reduce the amount of deaths that you have. Doom is all about punishing enemy positional mistakes. You don't have to be fancy. If you play patient and wait for them to make the mistake, then punish it, you'll climb. That's the biggest misconception on Doom. People think you have to go in and make something happen. You don't have to do that, especially at low ranks. Look for the people out of position and then chase the kill on them instead. Now, I think I get booped by the Brig out of the way, but we still get the kill on the Sigma. Then I have my ult. I'm waiting for my cooldowns to come back, and I had the McCree and the Baptiste in here. I think I probably, if I was smarter, I would have put my ult in the middle of this doorway. I thought they were just gonna blindly run around the corner, but I was stupid and I put it right here. But I still made the play happen. So I got a little bit of healing off of it. I probably would have gotten a kill. He uses the stun, but here's a big play that you can do, okay? This is something that a lot of Doom players do, and this is something you need to learn. When you're around the corner like this and you're dueling a McCree, say he's used his stun, odds are he's going to push you. Is that you use your ult, your cooldowns have come back online. What you can do is you can E right here on this corner, turn the corner, and then go straight into an uppercut and basically one-shot kill a squishy hero, especially if they don't have cooldowns. So look, I E onto him and then uppercut right away. Usually you want to shoot in between. I think I would have had time to do it, but I was worried that his head was going to hit the wall. So you want to E, shoot, uppercut, shoot, shoot. E, uppercut, shoot, shoot. But again, I didn't need to do that since he was low, but that would have been the more ideal situation there. And then you have your punch ready for the Baptiste. There's not much you can do. Even if you miss your punch, you have enough health at this point. Your cooldowns will come back before he can kill you, and you should get that next kill. So all good. Cooldown management and target priority. You don't have to force things to happen. Look for isolated targets. If you see the isolated targets, feel free to commit to them, but make sure you're communicating with your team. So after this fight, we're just cleaning up kills. This is a kind of funny clip of the game. Their Sigma, for whatever reason, pushes out, and this is what I'm telling you guys about punishing kills. If you see somebody overextended like this Sigma, go for him. Get the free kill. Like, the reason why Doom is so strong in this patch is because I think Doom is the best DPS in the Sigma. Sigma, like, in this double shield meta, right? You can force their cooldowns out, and you can completely ignore the shields as Doomfist, which is why he's so strong. And Doomfist counters can't get played into him as consistently, because if your team's running double shield, like McCree and all these other heroes are really bad into that. So it's gonna be a really strong Doom meta. Coming out of this gate, it's perfectly okay to chase kills and use all three of your cooldowns. As you can see here, we EMP'd their whole team, so if I use all three of my cooldowns with the shields that I've saved up, and I have my whole team there, I should be able to get away with it. So that's no problem. That's another instance where it's okay for you to fully commit on their team. So the next thing I want to do at the end of that fight, the very first thing that comes to my mind is I need to set up for the next fight, right? So that I can have, I'll be in a good position to use my abilities without having to commit like my uppercut to get a good E off, right? So I'm taking the high ground, and again, that's why maps like Watchpoint, Rialto, Dorado, I guess Havana defense, like a lot of these escort maps are really, really good for Doomfist if you have like places you can hide and set up before the fight. Think about first point icon wall, that one bridge you can hide on. Like, I can't tell you how many games I've just won because nobody ever tries to punish you. If you're working with your off tank and working with your main tank about, you know, can you bubble me here, or Rissa, can you pull at the start of the fight? Like, it sets yourself up to succeed, and working with your team is one of the most important parts about that, as well as taking great positioning. Alright, so now I'm going to showcase some assassination techniques, and this is why working with your team could be so good on Doomfist, right? I'm Duo with Wrong from Overwatch, and he's playing Rissa, so I'm talking to him saying, alright man, can you pull, can you pull? If he lands a pull on the squishy, you can E in, shoot, uppercut, shoot, punch out, use all your cooldowns, be in and out before they can even kill you, and it's a perfect assassination technique. Then you just wait for your cooldowns to come back again. So I'm going to show you how it's done properly. I've talked to my Rissa, and watch what happens. Patient, wait, and then we go. There's a pull, E, shoot, uppercut, out, done. That I was in there for maybe a second and a half, and I have a kill right away, and then I'm out safely with more health than when I went in, okay? That's how you need to assassinate targets on Doomfist, and that's why taking the high ground is really important, as well as like talking with your team and actually like synchronizing cooldowns so that you can set yourselves up for success. You'll see throughout this game that we do this many times, and that's how you can utilize the map to the best of its ability on Doomfist. And that's really free. It's essentially a free kill unless they commit resources to you, and there's not much they can do. So learn how to do that if you want to climb. It's a very basic assassination technique. You don't need any fancy map knowledge. You don't need insane mechanical skill. You just have to be aware. Well, I guess it does take quite a bit of mechanical skill. You have to get used to like cycling the cooldowns and like punching out of the stuff, but you will get it over time, and make sure that you're practicing it. Alright, the next thing I want to talk to you about is setting up your Seismic Slam properly. There's sometimes, as you guys know, where you get the really horizontal Seismic Slam, and then you get the one with a lot of hang time, right? Generally speaking, the one with less hang time, the horizontal slam, is much better, and it's all about taking angles properly when you go down to do it. Also, peeling your teammates is really important on Doomfist. You can also you can bail your teams out a lot by just putting a lot of CC on a target. So look what happens here. I uppercut the Hanzo, kill the Hanzo. I see my Sigma gets hooked. Now, a lot of Dooms, especially low ranks, will just walk over to the corner and press E over the top, but that's not really that good because you're really vulnerable when you're doing that really slow slam. But since you're moving faster on this on the more horizontal one, I'll show you how you can do it. If you jump down to the side of an object, right, and line up the slam from this angle instead, it puts you on the more horizontal path for whatever reason. I couldn't really explain it, but you can land that slam, come in and get on your team, and it makes your movement way less predictable. And this is another example of bailing out your team. So the Sigma's down here, and Doom is a hard counter to Sigma in my opinion, by the way. There's not much you can, the only thing you can do to stop you is hit you with his rock, and if he doesn't hit with your rock, he's just totally fucked. So I see him again, I wait a second, and then I set up the same slam, the horizontal slam. Like, you don't want to just go over the top, right? I'll play it again. Get the kill, slam in, punch the hog, finish him off, and then I look for this slam. You set it up. If I just went right over the top, it wouldn't work. So I'm gonna walk to the right, kind of wait a second, jump off the ledge just a little bit to make sure that I don't get that, you know, big hang time slam, and then I slam him from the side. Come in, slam him in, and then charge my punch him in the wall, it's a one shot. He's just dead. There's literally nothing he can do. And then the Reaper comes in. I think uppercut's really good for dealing with Reaper. I come in here, punch behind him, slam back in, combo him. That's a really good combo. I'll replay it in a second. And that's a free kill after he uses cooldown. So this is one of the good combos on Doom. You can punch past the target, come back in. It's like setting up that one corner slam I talked to you, so he can't see you. He won't see you slamming back into him. Slam in, shoot, uppercut, shoot, shoot. And then he's kind of donezoed. He's used all his cooldowns. Your whole team's there. He just loses the fight. So again, setting up that horizontal slam is really good. Killing your teammates is really good. But also having cooldowns to get out at all times is also pretty important as well. So make sure you're ready unless you can hard commit on the kill with your team to win the fight. All right, on to second point, defense. One thing that's very strong on Doomfist that you can do, especially if you're playing Nana, is nanoing Doomfist ult. His ult is very on the fence and it's very hard to use. But if you get nanoed, it's actually as good as it once was. It's actually really, really strong. So I talked to my Ana before the fight and, you know, talk about Nano Doom. I want to go in with Nano and then set up my resources because it's really, really strong. So here's what we do. I'll let the clip play and I'll talk about it after. Missed the punch, LOL. Doesn't really matter though because I have my ult. And I put the ult right in the middle of the doorway, right? The reason why you want to put ults in the middle of the doorway is so that it can hit them on either side they try to escape. So unless they go like all the way back here, a lot of players will try to side strafe like in between these things. But if you put your ult in the middle of the doorway, then, you know, it covers both sides. So I get the kill on the Ana. I charge up my punch here, finish the Sigma, slam the Tracer. I know she's going to recall around here. Shoot, uppercut, It's just clean up on the Hog and the Hanzo. So this is what I do here, okay? This is what I've talked to you guys about. If the fight's already won, and say you have full shield and you can chase a stagger kill, you can use all 3 cooldowns to do it. So Hanzo's trying to get out. I'm gonna uppercut, punch, and then E around the corner, just like that. And then finish off the kill. Easy peasy. So communication with your team, cycling those cooldowns. You can go much deeper when you have your ult, because it essentially gives you like, think about all 3 of your cooldowns being available as one shot, as one bullet, right, to shoot. If you have your ult, it basically gives you a dual magazine, right, or an extended magazine where you have, 2 bullets, because you can ult, find somebody on their team, be safe in the positioning where they are, and get all your cooldowns back. So that's a really important thing. This is kind of just what I've been learning over the past couple weeks of playing Doom. So next part. Looking for a squishy target or any target to go on, then I see the Sigma on point. I get a good E on him, uppercut him, shoot him twice, and then I just punch him right into this wall. Again, Sigma can't stop you, and it's okay to use all 3 of your cooldowns if you're in a safe space, right? And the safe space in this case is in our backline, where my teammates and my healers have good LOS on me, so they can hard pocket me if, anybody starts to come on me. So I get the kill on the Sigma, I wait for my cooldowns to come back, and then once my cooldowns come back, I chase the kills, punch out, do the punch glide into the uppercut, 2-tap the Lucio, use my E to get back closer to my team. Then there's just the Hanzo. Even I missed the punch, I have the bullets to finish him off, and then he's dead. And then I'm gonna start setting up for the next fight. So again, it's kind of rinse and repeat with your cooldowns as Doomfist. Get on the high ground, set up a good E to initiate, or set up a good punch drop to, okay, let me rephrase this again. If you're gonna use your Seismic Slam to initiate onto like a pool or something like that, you E down, uppercut in, and punch out, okay? If you want to go for a one-shot on a squishy without using 2 of your cooldowns, you drop with your punch, charge your punch as you're dropping, hit the punch. Whether you hit or miss the punch or not, you then uppercut and E back into your team, and then just wait for the cycle of your cooldowns to come back. Those are the 2 best kind of combinations of abilities that I've found on Doomfist. So, all right.
Greetings.
It's one more fight. We've talked that we have Nano Doom. I've communicated to my Nano what I want to do, and then I'm set up on the high ground again. That's what makes Watchpoint so good. There's always a high ground for you to hold at the start of the fight as Doomfist, which means you can get a ton of value here. So we're just going to wait patiently for it to come in, and I'll show you what happens. Alright, so both teams are starting to use their ults here. I'm about to go in because I hear the high noon. If my Ana nanos me, and the McCree is stationary, and if he wants to use his high noon, then he's not going to be able to stun me, right? So if I can get into him with a nano boost and the damage resistance, he shouldn't be able to kill me with high noon before I kill him. So I get nanoed, go in, go for the uppercut him out of the immortality, punch him around, wait for my ult, and just ult the cart, because the cart is the cart's the final point of the game. That was a really bad Seismic Slam. Holy shit, I should have gone for the punch. Trying to knock them off. I kind of got stuck up here, and then I die for it. Pretty stupid play on my part. That's what you shouldn't do on Doomfist. So the big mistake I made here is going back into their team without my resources. And that's why I'm telling you it's so important to get out, right? I use that E, and I fuck it up, and then I try to punch in, okay? Meaning I'm only left with my uppercut, okay? Uppercut is not enough alone to get out. You always need your slam, your uppercut and slam to get out of the fight, because you need to set up your slam to go far, or your punch to get out of the fight. And if you use those 2 cooldowns, right, you've broken the cycle, and then you die and you feed. So it's not worth using those 2 cooldowns like without waiting for one of them to be back. Now I come back on Widow, and we kind of just kill their whole team, so it doesn't really matter. We end up winning the game anyway. But yeah, that's Doom Guide Part 1. I hope you guys have learned something from this first basic guide. I couldn't really put it into words about how to play Doom without really showing you all my gameplay. So I don't know. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys want me to go into a more in-depth Doomfist guide, I didn't get to cover too much of the abilities and how they work in tandem together, but I wanted to actually show you all how you can apply some of the abilities with the map terrain. So if you guys have questions, please leave them down below. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love. I'll catch you guys on the streams Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. EST. Peace out until the next Doom Guide.